My friends, today I invite you to reflect on one of the most powerful truths that can transform the entire direction of your life. Gratitude is not only a polite thank you, but a force that dissolves fear and scarcity. The mind is often conditioned to believe there is never enough, whether it is time, money, love, or opportunity. This conditioning breeds worry, comparison, and insecurity. Yet gratitude steps in like a light in the darkness, reminding us that in every moment life is already offering more than enough. To awaken to this truth is to step onto the path of abundance consciousness. When we live in fear of not having enough, our energy contracts. We clutch tightly to what we have afraid it will slip away. We measure ourselves against others and find ourselves trapped in the exhausting race of trying to be more and have more. In this state, our creativity diminishes, our joy evaporates, and our vision narrows. Gratitude reverses this contraction by expanding the heart and calming the restless mind. It allows us to breathe deeply and see that the very fact we are alive is a miracle beyond measure. From this expanded awareness, we discover that lack was only a perception, never a reality. Consider the power of pausing each day and acknowledging the gifts already present in your life. The warmth of the sun on your skin, the presence of a loved one, the breath that sustains you, and the opportunities waiting to unfold. These are not small things, but the building blocks of abundance. When you give your attention to them with genuine appreciation, your inner state begins to shift. The fear that there is not enough starts to melt away. In its place, a sense of sufficiency arises, reminding you that you are supported by life itself. That recognition creates a new inner dialogue where fear no longer dominates. Fear is fueled by the illusion that resources are scarce and that fulfillment lies outside of reach. Gratitude dismantles this illusion by directing your attention to what is already flowing in. When you focus on what you lack, you magnify the feeling of emptiness. When you focus on what you have, you multiply your sense of richness. This is not about denying challenges, but about changing the lens through which you view them. Even in difficulty, gratitude reveals hidden blessings, lessons, and strengths waiting to be discovered. Through this shift, you cultivate resilience and open the doorway to creative solutions. Many people believe abundance is measured in material possessions or financial wealth. Yet true abundance begins in consciousness, not in accumulation. Gratitude tunes your awareness to the endless supply of support, love, and creativity that flows from the universe. It moves your focus from deficiency to sufficiency, from worry to trust. The paradox is that when you no longer chase after more and instead appreciate what is present, you actually create the conditions for more to arrive. Abundance follows gratitude the way sunrise follows the night. It is a law of awareness and a rhythm of life itself. Imagine walking into a garden and focusing only on the weeds. The beauty of the flowers would be missed. Gratitude teaches us to see the flowers first, to recognize the fragrance, the colors, and the life that thrives. When your attention rests on beauty, you experience peace and inspiration. This state of appreciation does not ignore the weeds, but sees them in perspective. The garden is no longer a symbol of scarcity, but of abundance waiting to be enjoyed. In the same way, gratitude allows your life to be a living garden where blessings blossom in every corner. Fear and scarcity thinking narrow your possibilities because they convince you that choices are limited. You start believing that success is reserved for others and that happiness is conditional on circumstances. Gratitude liberates you from this mental cage. It affirms that you too are a participant in the endless creativity of the universe. When you are grateful for your talents, your experiences, and your journey, you begin to recognize new pathways opening. Instead of shrinking in doubt, you expand in courage. Gratitude is the seed that grows into confidence, trust, and inspired action. The mind can easily become trapped in a cycle of wanting more and never feeling complete. This cycle is a recipe for suffering because enough is never enough. Gratitude interrupts that cycle by bringing you back to the present moment. In the present moment, you see that you already possess treasures beyond value. Your relationships, your health, your capacity to learn, your ability to create, all of these are priceless gifts. By honoring them, you step out of the illusion of insufficiency. You stand rooted in the abundance of now, where joy is always accessible. When you practice gratitude consistently, your body responds as well. Stress levels decrease, your heart rate stabilizes, and your overall health improves. Science has shown that gratitude strengthens the immune system, enhances sleep, and increases overall happiness. This is no coincidence. Gratitude aligns the body and mind with the natural rhythms of harmony and balance. Fear weakens the body while gratitude strengthens it. This vitality becomes the foundation upon which you can build a life of abundance, because you are energized, focused, and attuned to opportunities. Everyday presence moments where fear can creep in, whispering that you are not enough or that life will not provide. In these moments, gratitude is your shield and your guide. Choose to notice one thing, one blessing, one source of joy. That single act of appreciation begins to shift your perspective. Soon you start seeing more and more reasons to be grateful. This upward spiral transforms not only your thoughts, but your entire energy field. People around you feel it too, and abundance begins to flow in ways you could not have predicted. The truth is that abundance is not something you chase, it is something you align with. Gratitude is the key to alignment because it places you in harmony with the flow of life. Think of a river that never stops moving. You can resist it and struggle, or you can surrender to it and be carried forward. Gratitude is that surrender. It releases the tension of fear and allows you to trust the journey. When you trust, you discover that life is always working in your favor, providing what you need at the right time. Even in moments of loss or challenge, gratitude offers a pathway to healing. Instead of being consumed by what has been taken, you can turn your attention to what remains. This shift does not erase pain, but it gives you strength to carry it with grace. Gratitude transforms obstacles into teachers and suffering into wisdom. By finding even a small blessing in the midst of difficulty, you awaken resilience and courage. This inner strength is the true essence of abundance, because it cannot be diminished by external events. It is yours eternally. Gratitude also strengthens relationships, because it awakens a deep sense of connection. When you express appreciation to those around you, you create bonds of trust and love. People flourish when they feel valued. This mutual flow of gratitude creates communities that thrive on abundance instead of competition. Scarcity says there is not enough love, recognition, or support to go around. Gratitude proves that love multiplies the more it is given, and that recognition expands the more it is shared. In this way, gratitude not only transforms individuals, but entire communities. The practice of gratitude is simple yet profound. It requires no special tools, only the willingness to pay attention. Each morning, you can choose to awaken with a thought of appreciation for the gift of life. Each evening, you can close the day by acknowledging the blessings you received. Over time, this practice rewires your consciousness. Gratitude becomes not just an act, but a state of being. From this state, fear finds no foothold and scarcity dissolves into the background. You become a living expression of abundance wherever you go. As you continue walking this path, you will notice that gratitude fuels generosity. When you feel abundant, you naturally want to share. You realize that giving does not diminish you, but enriches you. The more you give from a grateful heart, the more life responds with opportunities, connections, and experiences that uplift you. This cycle of gratitude and generosity is the highest expression of abundance consciousness. It proves that the universe is not governed by lack, but by endless renewal. In this awareness, prosperity becomes a natural way of living. So today, I encourage you to release the grip of fear and scarcity. Do not measure your worth by what you lack, but by the infinite blessings that already surround you. Let gratitude be your lens and your guide. Allow it to expand your vision beyond limitation and into possibility. Recognize that every breath is evidence of life supporting you. In this awareness, you will see that you are never empty but always full. Gratitude opens the door and abundance consciousness walks in to stay. When we speak about abundance, many imagine it as something outside waiting to be earned or acquired. Yet the truth is that abundance begins within, and gratitude is the bridge that connects the mind and body to that inner state. When we cultivate gratitude consistently, something remarkable happens. Our thoughts, our emotions, and even the cells of our body begin to move into harmony. This harmony creates an atmosphere where abundance can manifest effortlessly. It is not forced, it is not strained, it simply arises from the state of balance and peace within. Think about the moments when you feel most at ease and connected. In those moments you are not rushing or struggling. You are present and aware of what is around you. Gratitude naturally arises in such moments, whether it is the smile of a child, the beauty of a sunrise, or the comfort of companionship. These moments remind you that life is complete in itself. The more you nurture this awareness, the more your inner state becomes one of gratitude, and in that state, your body and mind synchronize like instruments playing a harmonious melody. When the mind is restless or negative, the body often follows with tension, fatigue, and imbalance. Fear, anxiety, and resentment can create stress that disturbs every system within you. But when gratitude fills your heart, the opposite occurs. Your body relaxes, your breathing deepens, and your energy flows more freely. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it is a physiological shift. It brings calm to the nervous system and steadiness to the heart. This harmony is the fertile ground upon which abundance can take root and grow. Science confirms what spiritual wisdom has taught for centuries. People who practice gratitude experience improved health, deeper sleep, and greater overall well-being. Their bodies reflect the peace of their minds. They are less prone to stress-related illnesses because their inner world is aligned with appreciation rather than conflict. This shows that gratitude is not only a spiritual practice, but a life practice. It has measurable effects that empower you to live fully. Gratitude becomes the medicine that heals and the energy that sustains. When the mind and body are in harmony, you begin to notice that life responds differently. Opportunities that once seemed hidden appear before you. Relationships that felt strained soften with compassion. Even challenges take on a new light because you approach them from a place of balance. This inner state does not need to chase abundance because it attracts it naturally. The magnetism of gratitude draws to you people, experiences, and resources that reflect your inner wholeness. You no longer seek abundance with desperation, you allow it to flow toward you. Imagine a river flowing smoothly with no resistance. This is what life feels like when gratitude guides your mind and body. Obstacles may still arise, but they do not block the current. They simply redirect it until it finds another path. When you are grateful, your energy flows in the same way. You adapt with ease, you trust the movement, and you allow life to carry you forward. This fluid state is abundance in motion. It is not about collecting possessions, it is about living in harmony with the rhythm of existence. Gratitude teaches you to see beyond appearances. You may not always have everything you want, yet gratitude shows you that you always have what you need for this moment. This perspective reduces anxiety and creates stability in your thoughts. As your thoughts stabilize, your body follows with calmness. Together, the harmony of mind and body forms a foundation upon which dreams can manifest. This is the secret that abundance is never about chasing more, it is about aligning within. Gratitude makes alignment not only possible, but effortless. Think of the times when you were in conflict with yourself. Perhaps your mind desired one thing, but your body resisted with exhaustion. Perhaps you wanted progress, but felt weighed down by stress. In such states, even success feels hollow because inner harmony is missing. Gratitude repairs this divide. It reconciles mind and body by reminding both to rest in appreciation. When you are grateful, tension dissolves and clarity emerges. This inner clarity becomes the compass that guides you toward true abundance. Gratitude also reshapes the way you view your own body. Instead of criticizing its flaws or limitations, you begin to honor it as the vessel that carries you through life. You appreciate its strength, its resilience, and its capacity for healing. This appreciation deepens your relationship with yourself. Self-compassion grows, and with it, the willingness to care for your body. You eat more mindfully, you rest more fully, and you move with more joy. These choices strengthen the harmony within, and abundance finds a stable home there. The mind too transforms under the influence of gratitude. Negative patterns of comparison and self-judgment give way to appreciation and optimism. Gratitude rewires the brain to focus on what uplifts rather than what diminishes. When the mind sees possibility rather than lack, creativity expands. Solutions appear where before there were only problems. This expanded perception attracts abundance because you are no longer blind to opportunities. You become receptive to the flow of life instead of resisting it. When both mind and body operate in gratitude, they create a resonance with the energy of the universe. This resonance is like a signal that draws abundance from every direction. You no longer need to force outcomes or manipulate circumstances. You simply align, and abundance answers. Harmony becomes your true wealth, because from it all else flows. Health flows, joy flows, love flows, opportunities flow. This is the effortless manifestation of abundance consciousness. It begins with gratitude and radiates outward without limit. Gratitude also stabilizes emotions that often disrupt harmony. Anger, fear, envy, and doubt lose their grip when you focus on appreciation. Instead of being tossed around by turbulent emotions, you remain grounded in peace. This emotional stability strengthens relationships because others feel safe in your presence. They are drawn to your calmness and your authenticity. From this place, abundance grows not only within you, but also around you. Your environment reflects your inner balance and becomes a sanctuary of prosperity. To live in gratitude does not mean to deny hardship. It means to approach hardship with a heart that can still see blessings. Even in pain, gratitude whispers reminders of strength, of lessons, and of hidden gifts. This perspective keeps your mind from collapsing into despair and your body from being consumed by stress. Harmony remains even in challenge, and that harmony becomes the very bridge that carries you through. The ability to find gratitude in all circumstances is the highest expression of abundance consciousness. Consistency is the key that makes gratitude transformative. A single moment of appreciation is beautiful, but a life shaped by daily gratitude is extraordinary. Each day, as you cultivate this awareness, your mind and body sink deeper into harmony. This consistent practice builds momentum until gratitude becomes your natural state. From this state, abundance is not an occasional experience, but a continuous flow. You live with ease, confidence, and openness because you know that life supports you at every step. When you embody this harmony through gratitude, you also inspire others. Your presence becomes a reminder that abundance is possible for everyone. People around you feel uplifted simply by being near your energy. They too begin to notice the blessings in their own lives. In this way, gratitude multiplies beyond the individual and creates ripples of abundance throughout the community. One grateful heart can transform an entire circle of lives. That is the true power of harmony born from gratitude. Abundance is never about hoarding or clinging. It is about trusting that what you need will come, and that what you have is already enough. Gratitude allows you to trust in this flow, because it constantly reveals how life provides. This trust relaxes your mind and calms your body. You become a participant in the generosity of the universe rather than a victim of scarcity. The cycle of fear ends, and the cycle of abundance begins. This is the natural outcome of living with gratitude. As you reflect on this truth, remember that abundance is not a future goal, it is a present reality. It exists here and now in every breath and every heartbeat. Gratitude is the awareness that uncovers it. By living in this awareness, you harmonize your mind and body and invite abundance to express itself in your life. It is not about striving harder, but about aligning deeper. The more you align, the more effortlessly abundance flows, and it all begins with the simple yet profound act of gratitude. So let us remember that gratitude is the anchor that calms the mind and the medicine that heals the body. It creates harmony that no fear can disturb and no scarcity can diminish. From this harmony, abundance arises naturally as sunlight follows dawn. Trust this flow and live in its rhythm. Every moment offers you a reason to be grateful. Every reason to be grateful opens another door to abundance. Gratitude makes the invisible visible and the impossible possible. There is a dimension of life that becomes available to us when gratitude is no longer a momentary practice, but a living awareness. Gratitude expands our vision beyond the narrow sense of the personal self and opens us to the universal consciousness that holds everything together. In this expanded awareness, we realize that true prosperity is not limited to possessions or achievements. It is the recognition of our connection to the infinite source of life itself. This connection dissolves the illusion of separation and awakens us to the limitless possibilities always present. Gratitude is the key that unlocks this doorway. When we are confined by the personal self, our perception becomes small. We see only what serves our own interests, and we measure abundance by what we can hold in our hands. This limited perspective creates tension, because no matter how much we gather, it never feels like enough. Gratitude shifts the focus outward and upward. It expands the boundaries of awareness to include others, the environment, and the entire universe. Through this expansion, we begin to realize that abundance is not a private possession, but a shared field of energy. The more we recognize it, the more it reveals itself. This universal consciousness has been described in many traditions as the field of pure potential. It is the silent presence that underlies every form and every experience. When you live in gratitude, you align yourself with this field because you acknowledge the flow of life that sustains you. Every breath becomes a reminder of the invisible intelligence that keeps you alive. Every sunrise becomes an invitation to step into possibility. Gratitude tunes your awareness to this vastness, and you begin to sense that life is infinitely generous. In that awareness, the personal self is no longer limited but expanded. Abundance in this context is not measured by accumulation, but by access to infinite potential. When you are grateful, you no longer confine your identity to the small story of the self. You begin to identify with the universal self, the consciousness that is unbounded. In that recognition, your creativity expands, your vision widens, and your capacity to manifest increases. You realize that what you thought were limits were only illusions of perspective. Gratitude dissolves these illusions and reveals that the universe is abundant beyond measure. You are not separate from this abundance, you are an expression of it. Consider how a drop of water relates to the ocean. If the drop believes it is separate, it feels small, fragile, and incomplete. But when it remembers that it is part of the vast ocean, it understands its true nature as boundless. Gratitude is the remembrance that we are not isolated drops, but waves of the same ocean of consciousness. This remembrance brings peace and confidence because we no longer need to compete or compare. We know that the source is infinite and therefore our share is infinite. This is the heart of abundance consciousness. When you live from this expanded awareness, you begin to see blessings where others see obstacles. The universal consciousness works through every situation, offering lessons, growth, and new beginnings. Gratitude allows you to perceive this deeper order. Instead of resisting change, you trust the unfolding. Instead of fearing loss, you recognize transformation. Life becomes a continuous flow of opportunities to grow and to create. Gratitude gives you the eyes to see and the heart to receive these opportunities. And in that receiving, abundance is multiplied. The personal self often fears uncertainty because it wants control, but the universal self thrives in uncertainty because it is the source of all possibilities. Gratitude helps you release control and embrace trust. You begin to see uncertainty not as danger but as potential. This shift opens the mind to new ideas and the heart to new experiences. In this openness, abundance expresses itself in ways you could never predict. Life surprises you with gifts that appear as if from nowhere, yet they were always flowing from the infinite field. Gratitude also awakens compassion because when you expand beyond the personal self, you recognize yourself in others. Their joy becomes your joy, their struggles become your concern. This connection creates a flow of giving and receiving that is the essence of abundance. The more you share, the more you realize there is to share. The more you love, the more love grows. Gratitude makes you aware of this endless circulation. It teaches that abundance is not about taking more, but about participating in the flow of giving and receiving that sustains all of life. Imagine looking at the night sky filled with stars. From the perspective of the personal self, you may feel small and insignificant, but with gratitude you recognize that the same intelligence that spins the galaxies also breathes through you. You are not apart from the stars, you are made of the same elements and guided by the same laws. This realization awakens awe and reverence. It opens your heart to the mystery and magnificence of existence. In this reverence, you no longer question abundance because you see yourself as part of the infinite whole. Gratitude also dissolves the illusion of competition. Scarcity teaches us that we must fight for our share because there is not enough. Universal consciousness reveals that abundance is limitless and available to all. When you live in gratitude, you celebrate the success of others because it does not diminish your own. You see that their prosperity is part of the same flow that supports you. This shift creates harmony in relationships and communities. Gratitude becomes the glue that binds people together in mutual trust, and abundance expands collectively. When you step into this expanded awareness through gratitude, you also release fear of the future. The personal self worries about what might go wrong or what might be lost, but the universal self trusts that life always provides what is needed. Gratitude anchors you in this trust. It reminds you of the countless ways life has already supported you and gives you confidence that it will continue to do so. With this confidence, you walk forward boldly, creating and manifesting without anxiety. Abundance flows where fear once blocked the way. This consciousness also awakens creativity. When you are confined to the personal self, your ideas are limited by past experiences and conditioning. But when gratitude connects you to universal consciousness, you draw inspiration from an infinite source. Solutions appear with clarity, innovations flow with ease, and your capacity to create multiplies. Gratitude opens the channel to this creativity by aligning your energy with possibility. In this state, you realize that abundance is not only about receiving, but also about expressing your gifts fully. Gratitude makes you receptive to synchronicities that guide you along your path. What some call coincidences are in fact expressions of universal consciousness responding to your state of openness. When you live with gratitude, you notice these signs and align with them. The right people, the right opportunities, the right resources show up at the right time. This flow feels effortless because you are in harmony with the larger intelligence. Abundance manifests not through struggle, but through alignment with this guidance. Gratitude is the doorway that makes alignment possible. The expansion of awareness through gratitude also heals the illusion of isolation. Many suffer because they feel disconnected from others, from nature, and from spirit. Gratitude restores connection by reminding you of the interdependence of all life. You begin to see how every element of existence contributes to your well-being. The food you eat, the air you breathe, the knowledge you learn all arise from the contributions of countless beings. This recognition deepens humility and appreciation. It shows that abundance is the natural result of connection and collaboration. Living in this expanded awareness changes how you define wealth. You no longer measure it by the numbers in your account or the possessions in your home. You measure it by the richness of your experiences, the depth of your relationships, and the expansion of your consciousness. Gratitude sharpens this vision. It teaches you to value what is eternal over what is temporary. True wealth becomes the joy, peace, and love that cannot be taken away. These are the treasures of abundance consciousness, and they grow endlessly when nurtured. Gratitude also transforms time itself. In the personal self, you may feel hurried, always chasing the next achievement. But in universal consciousness, time expands because gratitude anchors you in the present. You discover that this moment contains everything you need. You stop postponing happiness for some future goal and begin to live fully now. This presence magnifies abundance because you experience the richness of each moment. The ordinary becomes extraordinary, the simple becomes sacred. Gratitude turns time into treasure. The beauty of gratitude is that it requires no special training, only awareness. Anyone at any moment can pause and recognize a blessing. That recognition expands the heart and opens the mind. With each act of gratitude, the personal self loosens its grip, and the universal self shines more brightly. Over time, this becomes a natural state of being. You live not from fear or scarcity, but from trust and possibility. Abundance ceases to be a concept and becomes your daily reality. This journey of gratitude is not about perfection, but about practice. There will be days when the personal self dominates with doubt or fear, yet even then gratitude can be found. A single breath, a kind word, a moment of silence can return you to connection. Each small act of gratitude strengthens the bond with universal consciousness. Step by step, the expansion continues until gratitude is no longer something you do, but something you are. And in that state, abundance is inevitable. So let us remember that gratitude is not only a practice of the heart, but an awakening of the soul. It lifts us beyond the limitations of the personal self and into the vast field of universal consciousness. In that field,